progress.
Calling to order Historic Landmarks Commission, August 27th, 2025. Let's start with roll call.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. I'll begin with Chair Grumbine.
Present.
Vice Chair Uli.
Present.
Commissioner Butler.
Here.
Commissioner Dorden.
Here.
Commissioner Drury.
Here.
Commissioner Ensberg is not here. Commissioner Lenvik.
Here.
Commissioner Lodge.
Here.
And Commissioner McClure.
Here.
We have quorum. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's start with general public comment. So general business for public comment. So any member of the public wishing to address the commission on items that are not on the current agenda that is in our jurisdiction.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. At this time, I do have one speaker slip for in-person public comment under general. I'm going to call Greg Dolan up to the podium, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak. Though if anyone else in the room would like to speak on any other items, they can fill out a speaker slip along that wall and bring it up to me. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you. Knocking over the furniture.
It's not a sign of disrespect. No, it's not. I didn't think it was.
But this is on the agenda today, right?
It was on consent calendar.
Yes, it was on consent.
Greg?
hold on, just 1 second.
Greg, just before you get started, let me ask a question. This was on our agenda for consent.
Yes, but he did not make it to the consent meeting, so we'll have to speak on it during general public comment.
All right.
Could I make one comment that the co-owner, Mary Jo, notified me that it would most likely be at 1:30. So I appreciate having an opportunity to speak, just in general comments. So forgive me for reading off a sheet of paper. I just traveled 850 miles yesterday to be here for this meeting. Dear Commissioners, as you may be aware, and this is regards to what you saw this morning, 321 East Islay. As you may be aware, in the 2 previous meetings regarding adding the ADU, I supported the project despite the oversized nature of the ADU. The residence was long neglected. The packet of photos shows the state of what is really happening on the site. 150 to 200 cubic yards of topsoil have been added in a roll-off. They built without licensed supervision a mountain of soil plus an eventual 130 cubic yards of soil from the pool excavation. To elevate the property of the ADU, which was inappropriately shown at existing grade for ADU approval, this will dramatically alter the historic drainage across the site, which incidentally was a Chumash path between the Mission and the Presidio. Moreover, the lot, including boulders, have been scraped clean. I realize violations are the purview of the Planning and Zoning Department. Turning to matters of the HLC, Zink stated in gaining approval for the ADU that the main residence would not be touched. Shortly after approval, owners Mary Jo and Ben came to my residence with a new plan to entirely alter the original structure, add a 5th bathroom, and importantly, add a 2nd floor entertainment deck, in addition to their 0.3 acres of pool area. Mary Jo stated that the architect said, to get everything you can out of the HLC, then build what you want. This is a quiet, peaceful, elegant, and historic neighborhood. The gable roofs and 2nd floor party deck will acoustically focus on 320 East Pedregosa, residence for 3 generations, and we adjacent neighbors will be affected. I predict 2 outcomes if the HLC rubber stamps this drastic alteration of a historic structure of merit. 1, Mr. Zink will immediately submit a proposal for even a larger McMansion. 2, I will refer the matter to my attorney, Mark Shatillo. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I don't have any more speaker slips for in-person public comment, so I'll move to virtual participation. If anyone online would like to speak under general, they can raise their hand at this time. I'm not seeing any raised hands, and we did not receive any written correspondence under general, so I will give it back to you.
All right. All right. There we go, Mike. Mike. All right, now we'll go to item B, approval of the minutes of Historic Landmarks Commission meeting of August 13th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we'll go with, tie goes to Commissioner Butler. For second, all right, under discussion, is there any edits? Or, everything's good? All right, great, good, so let's have a roll call vote for approval of the minutes.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden,
Yes.
Commissioner Drury,
Here.
Commissioner Ensberg,
Present.
Oh,
Commissioner-
sorry, it's yes or no?
Yes or no?
Aye or nay? It's for the approval of minutes.
Yes, we know you're here.
Well, I came in late.
Commissioner Drury threw you off with the,
Okay, yes.
yeah.
Commissioner Lenvik,
Yes.
Commissioner McClure,
Yes.
Commissioner Lodge,
Yes.
Vice Chair Uli,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, great, thank you. Now we're on to item C, approval of the minutes of Historic Landmarks Commission meeting of August 13th, 2025.
to
Consent,
approve.
sorry.
Motion to approve.
All right. And do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Lodge. And any edits or discussion? August 13th consent? All right, roll call vote, please.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Drury,
Yes.
Commissioner Ensberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Lenvik,
Yes.
Commissioner McClure,
Yes.
Commissioner Lodge,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden,
Yes.
Vice Chair Uli,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right. Next, we have item D, ratification of action taken on the consent calendar of August 27th, 2025.
Motion to ratify.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, thanks, Commissioner Butler. Okay, to staff for,
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. Item A was 1708 Paterna Road, which received approval of review after final with a comment that the plans are in substantial conformance to the plans that received project design approval on September 11th, 2024. Item B was 116 East Valerio Street, which received project design approval and final approval as submitted with the appropriate findings. Item C, Alameda Park, received project design approval and final approval with the appropriate findings. Item D, 528 Brinkerhoff Avenue, received project design approval and final approval with the conditions to select an acceptable alternative to the agaves and the Festi Glauca for compatibility with the plant palette, and two, to screen the HVAC equipment behind the chairlift and the appropriate findings. And then item E, 321 East Islay Street, was continued indefinitely with the comments to further study the shutters on the house to clarify the historic significance, two, that the wraparound is acceptable as presented, and three, additions are conceptually acceptable. And that was all for consent.
all right. So to Vice Chair Uli, did you want
I
to
don't
add
have any comments.
any comments? Okay. All right. All right, so, and any other discussion from anyone? Commissioner Ensberg?
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. So regarding the last item, the Islay Street project, and in light of what we just heard from the speaker, I'm a little bit confused as to what would be an appropriate action to take. I do have concerns based on what the gentleman shared with us and the pictures that I have seen. So I'm asking the rest of you what would be appropriate.
So I guess part of the question is, what it came back on consent. It came
So,
back-
just to clarify through the chair to the rest of the commission, this is a separate project from the one that you've already seen. The other project at this address was for the ADU and the landscaping, and that received project design approval and it will return to the full commission for final approval. This is just for the rear addition and the deck, and one-story rear additions are typically scheduled at consent, so that's why, and this is just a concept review, it's their very first review. So it was scheduled at consent. If you would all like to see it at full commission, you can adjust the motion to be continue indefinitely to full commission, or you can leave it at the consent level if you're comfortable with it staying at consent. So that's, those would be your options to, ratify it as presented, or to adjust the motion to item E to continue indefinitely to the full commission.
I suppose there's another option, and that is if you don't like it, you can join the consent calendar.
Well,
Let's see how many cooks we
Yeah.
can have in that before I allow that action.
staff might just not want to
I
deal
just
with
got
that.
shot.
Yeah. So, all right, so Commissioner Ensberg and any other commissioners, any thoughts on it? We can always call something up, and for whatever the easiest, best way of keeping things moving, I think would be the ideal. It's not great to have something reviewed on consent and then to call it up afterwards, because it's sort of like a double hearing. So my general thought on it is if other commissioners are feeling like that it might be a gray area, then we might as well just call it up, because that way at least they're agendized for something that can take action, as opposed to agendized for something and then having it reworked in terms of speed. So if people are all comfortable with it, staying at consent, then that's great. I want to make sure that we don't add it.
Mr. Chair, no, I'm not comfortable with it going to just straight from consent to approval. I think we need to have it as a hearing of the full commission.
Okay. Other commissioners? Feel that?
Am I wrong in what I have read in the gentleman's letter? A lot of his concerns are, or some of his concerns are about things that we've already reviewed and approved. And I would hate to leave the impression that we're going to review the whole thing again. The pool location, the size of the ADU, all that's been reviewed and approved. So what we're doing today, and we got to be, I assume we got to be careful about it, is we would want to bring back those items that were reviewed in concept, which dealt with some changes to the main house.
It's just the main house that's going before.
Yes,
Right.
and then the other project will return for final approval. So you will still get to review those other items. This is a separate project for just the rear addition. So if you feel the rear addition is significant enough that you want to review it at the full commission, you certainly can. And if I, of course, as staff, will help direct you about what items you can and cannot review at each hearing.
Final approval is not so much discretionary as it is ministerial. I mean, we've already, if his final drawings match what it was approved, then we don't have the opportunity to go back and make changes on those again,
Correct.
because it's already been approved by us.
Yeah, it's just basically how they detail out what.
How they
what we-
detail it out.
What the.
We
the
can
general-
be critical of that.
Little bit of tweaking.
So I just want to make sure we understand that all we would be bringing back for us today is it was a deck in the back of the main house?
Extension of an addition and an infill.
Extension, right. So that's all we would be reviewing. Not everything that's on this letter that he sent us, or these photos which you're showing us.
Yeah, and to your point, there's a lot, if not most of what he is commenting on is not what was at consent.
Exactly.
So, I want to just get any other, strong feelings about it, one way or the other, so that we have we have a direction for the next time, whether it's coming to the full commission or to consent. But I thought the only really bad case scenario in my mind is if it goes to consent and then next time we call it up. So, and then for calling it up, what does it take?
So you would just have to have the motion maker amend the motion to include the amendment to item E, which would be continue indefinitely to full commission.
So let's play it out. So if we, next time, if we send it, okay, for now we send it to consent, and then next time, one commissioner says, or two commissioners say, we really don't feel like we feel like this needs to be called up, what's the rule?
After
Two or more?
Certainly. So if, when it returns, it will likely return for project design approval unless they request another concept review. When it returns for project design approval, unless you continue it to full commission now, it would be reviewed for project design approval at consent. And then when you ratify that motion at the full commission hearing, if at that point you want to continue or you want to bring it up to full commission, you can still do it at that point.
No, but what I'm wondering is so say there's 2 commissioners or 1 commissioner that wants to bring it up and the others don't agree.
So then what we would do is we have the motion on the floor right now to ratify the consent calendar as submitted, and those commissioners that wanted to bring it up to full commission, they could oppose that motion and state in their opposed.
But then it still just comes down to a vote of majority.
so it would
for-
just be
yeah,
majority
Okay,
vote,
for whether we call it up or not. Okay, I just want to make sure clear of our, what the rules are. So, okay. So with that, I think basically the question to you all, or we can just do maybe a straw poll, see where we're landing. Who wants this called up to the full commission for next time, to come back to us, to come back to the full commission versus come back to the consent, and basically stay in consent land for approval.
Well, I'm getting tired.
All right, so all those who would like to come to the full commission, please raise your hand. Got 2, 3. Okay, and those who are on the fence, raise your hand. Commissioner Ensrick, you want to?
Could I just say, yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I think I understand. I just was concerned because of some of the complications that were brought up. And so it does seem to be a bit complicated. And so it might be, and I was thinking perhaps it would be better if they were all looked at together so that we're seeing everything at once, regardless of whatever status each one is, that it might help us to kind of get our arms around it better. But if you have convinced me that we want to help move things forward, but we also want to do our due diligence. So I could go with.
The work that was reviewed in, pardon me,
Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner.
the work that was reviewed in concept today, none of it is viewable from the street.
Yeah.
None of it is changing the mass scale or bulk of the house. It's all back and internal. And
Which is appropriate, to finish your thought, is appropriate to stay in consent, because that's what we've generally done.
And I'm sure that those who reviewed consent today kept in mind that the project is a structure of merit, not a landmark. So their judgment is based on the fact that it is acceptable changes to a structure of merit.
That's correct.
And they're-
And it fits the standards.
Yeah, we reviewed it today, but there is one kind of a wobbler. They're proposing to remove the shutters, and that's very prominent element to the street. And I think we left it in neutral. We just need more research, but that's pretty big.
So.
Well, we don't want to
Which-
get stuck
yeah,
here.
that's true. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so, and I guess to the consent calendar, commissioners, do you feel comfortable continuing it with, continuing
Yes.
to handle it in your?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so let's just, currently, is everyone still on their same, we're at 3 and, okay.
I've changed my mind.
Okay. All right, so looking to let it stay in consent, okay. I as well do feel that if it qualifies, because it's minor and in the back, and those things that we have the rules for, if it qualifies to be small enough that consent can handle it, then we trust our consent reviewers and they'll apply the rules and, yeah. Okay, that's my feeling anyways. So it's looking like there's a majority that are okay with it staying in consent. So there's a motion on the floor and a second. Any other discussion before we vote? Okay, all right, roll call vote, please.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Lenvik.
Is that me? Yes.
Yes, it's you.
Commissioner McClure?
Yes.
Commissioner Lodge?
What is the motion at this point?
To ratify the consent calendar as submitted. So that would mean to keep the motion for item E that is continued indefinitely to consent. So if you disagree and you want it pulled up to full commission, you should oppose, and then you can state that you are opposing because you want to see item E at full commission. Or if you think it's fine to stay at consent, then you would just support the motion.
Well, I'm going to vote no, because I think it should be reviewed by the full
Sounds good.
commission.
Okay. Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner Drury.
No,
Do you have the same rationale as Commissioner Lodge?
I'm opposing the motion because I think there's a suggestion of flim-flam of the HLC.
Okay. Commissioner Ensberg,
Yes.
Vice Chair Uli,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, and then we have the statements from both for the record on their opposing. Okay, thank you. Okay, next is announcements, requests by applicants for continuances and withdrawals, future agenda items, and appeals. So to staff.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. Staff has just one announcement. The development project at Paseo Nuevo will be coming to the Historic Landmarks Commission for a one-time pre-application consultation on September 24th. And then it will have a subsequent hearing at the Planning Commission on October 9th, I believe. And we would like a representative, and we would prefer the chair or the vice chair to represent the HLC's comments from the September 24th hearing at the Planning Commission hearing. Vice Chair Uli has volunteered to attend, provided that he receives a copy of the staff report and a copy of the HLC minutes prior to the Planning Commission hearing. Are you still Commissioner or Vice Chair Uli?
No, nope, you.
All right, so,
That's great.
yeah, so I mean,
That's
we
great.
don't
Thank you
know
for-
how the hearing will go yet, but I feel like Commissioner or Vice Chair Uli can handle it either way. So Vice Chair Uli will represent the HLC's comments at the Planning Commission hearing on the 9th, on October 9th. And that is all for staff.
Great, thank you. Other announcements? Well, speaking of Vice Chair Uli, do you want to talk about your book?
No.
All right. Well, City TV, can you get a shot here? So this is looks like a great new book that you've worked on and with others as well. And you want to say at least a little bit of something about it?
No, because it's not a commercial ad. You know, I didn't buy ad space at the HLC hearing.
I know, but people should know about it, so.
They will.
Okay, great. Anyways, looks like a great guidebook and a fun way of seeing some of the best of our architecture. So, all right. Other announcements, requests, future agenda items, et cetera.
Chair Grumbine? I just wanted, thank you. I just wanted to announce that I don't know if you've seen it, but the Arts Commission has put out an ad, and I see Ms. Harris is here in the audience also, about a competition for submitting ideas for artwork in Windows. I think that's pretty much it. And I think it's online. I don't have the date exactly when it is, the due date, but to encourage all the artists out there to, apply and.
Can you do like ice cream sundaes?
And I think
Sorry, too
it's
soon.
also available, it's also available online, I think through the Arts Commission website.
Okay, great. Awesome, thank you. Other announcements, et cetera? All right. Yes, Commissioner Drury.
Judging by the abbreviated length of the agenda, I still have to leave by 6 o'clock.
Okay, if you're not gone by 6, then,
We've got trouble.
yep, we have other problems. Okay, any other announcements? Anything? All right, let's go on to item F, Subcommittee reports. So any signs, designations, State Street Advisory, Plaza de la Guerra Design, Objective Design Standards, or State Street Interim Working Group? Or
No
others?
designations report.
Any other reports? Yep.
Yes, Chair Grumbine. I just briefly, just to let everyone know a couple of things. I met yesterday with Ms. Harris, and we talked about, just kind of updated a lot of the different things that were working on the Paseo Figueroa and the 1200 block. Everything's moving along. There's nothing really specifically to report. But I also wanted to just formally just share that for me, when we had our last hearing where we met with the library, I know that we work very, very hard as HLC to try to be very diplomatic and with cheer and sometimes a few humorous jokes kind of thrown in. But I felt that one was a little bit rough, and I felt badly about it afterwards. And so I had reached out to Ms. Harris to talk to her about it, and I was hoping that we might be able to have a meeting with the library people and just kind of explain a little bit more from our side of things versus their side of things, and maybe just offer a little bit of apology, because we do try very hard to be supportive and helpful, and I felt like we could have, I think everybody could have done better last time. So just to share that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I respectfully disagree.
All right, thank you. Anyone else?
There's a person between them.
Yeah. Commissioner Lodge is going to have to keep them apart. All right.
That's it. You're
Yeah. Ever since then. All right. Any other subcommittee reports? Otherwise, okay, let's get started on item 1. This is for 1130 State Street. This is a discussion item, and it's a contributing historic resources in El Pueblo Viejo Landmark District. The original federal post office building was constructed in 1912 to 1914, and the Santa Barbara Museum of Art was constructed in 1941 in the Mediterranean style. The Museum of Art will be wrapping the stairs with temporary artwork in conjunction with the Impressionist Revolution Monet to Matisse exhibit that is coming to the Museum of Art from October 5th to 2025 through January 25th, 2026. The Museum of Art will also be trimming hedges to match historic photographs from 1950 and 1975. This might be the first hedge trimming announcement that we've had in a while, which will allow more visibility for the community to see the Museum of Art building. So no final appealable decision will take place at this hearing. There was a historic significance report, and with that, welcome. If you can introduce yourselves for the record, and then.
Great.
Yeah.
Commissioners and Chair Grumbine, I'm going to go ahead and start, and then I'll introduce those with me, and then they will give the presentation. But first off, my name is Tess Harris. I'm the State Street Master Planner for the city, here representing the City Administrator's Office. And with me to my right is Mata Cruz. She's the Ike Holtz Foundation Director for the Santa Barbara Museum of Art. Really pleased to have her here with us. And to her right is Lindsay Garrison. Lindsay is the Director of Marketing and Communications for the Santa Barbara Museum of Art. Also really thrilled to have her with us. And, I just wanted to start out by saying how excited the city is to have this really fantastic exhibition come to our city. We're the only West Coast city to receive it. And so this is an item before you really providing information on some of the artistic element that they will have out front to really bring people in and as part of the Monet to Matisse exhibit. And so just kind of want to walk through that with you. I also wanted to make a slight correction to the agenda. It is correct. Typically, this commission is not looking at hedge trimming, and that is not something, in speaking with Ms. Hernandez, certainly something that we could have done at the staff level. But since we were coming here for an informational item, we just wanted to make you aware that that was going to be occurring. And while it is occurring, in part so you can see the museum building, it is actually occurring really because there is a fantastic fresco painting that is not visible currently from the streetscape. It's the Portrait of Mexico Today. It was done in 1932 by David Sicarios. And I'm sure that Ms. Cruz or Ms. Garrison can elaborate further, but just that trimming will allow some more visibility for the the beautiful painting that's up there. I had the pleasure of getting to go by it earlier today, and I've seen it many times before, and it's just really wonderful that we have that in the public space, and that, you know, patrons can go inside the museum, but they can also get that experience right outside as they're passing through. So I'm really happy that they're doing that. And then I will turn it over to Ms. Cruz and Ms. Garrison to really talk through the Monet to Matisse exhibition, and I hope you will all join me in attending when it comes over the next few months. It'll be an exciting thing to have in Santa Barbara.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So yes, thank you so much for having all of us. This is the first time that certainly I and also Lindsay have been before all of you, so it's nice to meet you. You're sort of legendary. So yes.
We're not that bad.
Very pleased to be here. So yes, so we have these images that you see, which I think are quite exciting. So these are two actual exhibitions on French Impressionism. The first one on the left, Impressionist Revolution, Monet to Matisse, is actually a show of about 50 works of art from the Dallas Museum of Art, which is one of the best collections in the country, possibly the world, of French Impressionism. And so we will be the only West Coast venue for this exhibition. It's actually currently in Mexico City. It is something that is really important to our institution, really pleased about it. But also, you have all been here longer than I have. You know, French Impressionism was actually collected by a lot of people. It's amazing to say that in this area. And so it also has a lot to do with our own collection, and certainly some works of art that were given to us by, for example, Lady Ridley Tree, who I'm sure you all probably knew. So the companion exhibition to the right, we are calling Encore, and that is work from our own 19th century French collection. So not only will we have paintings and sculptures, but we'll also have menus from various cafes, an ephemera, and a map of Paris, and a film. And so I think it'll give everybody a sort of, and photography, yes, of course. So black and white, beautiful 19th century photographs of the building of Notre Dame. So a real celebration of that culture. And I also, you know, have to remind people, of course, that we are in the American Riviera, and so we'll be showing things from the French Riviera as well. So the whole thing just seems to make sense for our own audiences and our own place. So when we do exhibitions like this, as you can only imagine, we have a lot of artists who are quite interested in what we're going to be showing, and so we're taking advantage of a proposal from a group, a studio in Los Angeles named Keith & Co., and I think we can go to the next slide. Is that me? There we go. Let me just back up and say, you may have seen this in Newshawk this morning. I have to say, that was a bit of a surprise to us. Don't know how that got out, because many people in the museum have not even seen this picture, so there you are. However, this text piece that you see will be vinyl on just the risers of the stairs. As you can see from here, it says Monet to Matisse, but like an Impressionist painting where you have to be at a certain viewpoint to actually see the image come together and coalesce, it will be the same thing with this piece. While it announces the artists that are going to be in the show, it's also a work of art because you have to align with a certain viewpoint to actually make sense of what is on the steps. It will be, so as you walk up, it'll totally disappear. It will be temporary only for the run of the exhibition, which is opening up, yes, October 5th, and we'll be going through the holidays, which are really a big time for us, of course, and then we'll end at the end of January. So very excited about this, putting a lot of resources into this project, and you know, lots of interest locally, and lots of collaborations that we'll be doing with different organizations. Plein air painting at Lotus Land, which everybody wants to do, really lovely thing. Lots of children's programs and a new art learning lab, so that will be coming up very shortly. Start working on that soon. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I'll add a couple more details. This is just concept art.
Right.
I'm sure you guys know, and just oh, sorry. This is just concept art. At this moment, nothing has been produced yet in terms of the files. We are having it professionally installed and professionally removed by another agency that works with a lot of museums, and anticipate no damage to the steps whatsoever. There will also be no material affixed to the tread, the top of the step, so as to not impede anyone's mobility when moving up and down the stairs. any other details, yep, it's not paint. Just important to say that. And yeah, we're really excited to have this be a piece that can bring some visibility on State Street and some excitement to the community around the exhibition. So yeah, it'll be removed upon the conclusion of the exhibition, January 25th, with an installation target date of October 3rd, 2025 to January 25th, 2026. And yeah, I think this is the first time, and Amada, correct me if I'm wrong, that we've been doing, we've done something like
As
this.
far as I know, Robert might know.
Never been done.
Never been done before. Okay, there you go.
And we don't currently have any plans, we haven't, we're always thinking pretty far out in terms of exhibitions coming, but we don't have any plans to make this a repetitive activity. This is really a special kind of one-time thing for this exhibition. Just some additional details.
Now, we had started talking informally, and again, Robert, you know this, about the hedges. And so we weren't really prepared to talk about the hedges today. On the other hand, here we are. And this was in the news hawk, so let's talk about hedges. So as you can see here, the hedges in this beautiful photograph. And let's just give a little bit of, information about some of the historic precedents, the view of the DeForest Memorial Wall you can see on the left, and some of the other depictions there. The thing about the hedges is that we're not as concerned, frankly, about them hiding certain aspects of the building. That's not really why we want to do some trimming. It's really about this work right here, which is not coming through very well, I'm afraid. Very pixelated. However, it is really the only extant mural by David Alfaro Siqueiros that is anywhere in the United States. It's from 1932, and it was that's so much better. So much better. Thank you. It's a portrait of Mexico today. This is a piece which is really important to the local Mexican-American community. We've had a lot of discussions about what we could possibly do to actually foreground this, promote it, and just frankly make it a little bit more visible. And so if we do trim down the hedges, you'll be able to see it much better. So at least people will know it's there. As much as we do to sort of, talk about it and advertise and all of that, it really gets hidden right now. So that's why we're talking about hedges. It's really about that. Happy to answer any questions.
All right. Great. Okay, so let's go to public comment now. Any member of the public who wants to comment on this item can hand a speaker slip? No? Everyone? All right.
Thank you, Chair. We don't have any speaker slips at this time, but if anyone in the room would like to speak under this item, they can come up to the podium at this time. Though I'm not seeing any movement, so I will move to virtual participation. So if anyone online would like to speak on this item, they can raise their hand at this time. And I do see we have one hand raised. So Darcy Roberts, I'm going to give you permission to speak. You should be able to unmute at this time.
Hey, I just want to say I'm really excited about this exhibit, and I think that it's sounds like it's going to be a beautiful thing for the town. And also, I'm down with trimming the hedges to see more of the artwork. So thanks.
Thank you. And I don't see any other hands raised, so I will state that we did not receive any written correspondence for this item. So I'm going to give it back to you.
All right, great. All right, to the commission for any questions? Any questions? Yeah, question?
Are those your theme colors for the printed material? And is that's really what
Sorry,
you
I
guys
should have
do?
said that, actually. Yeah,
It's
those
very
are.
bright.
Yes, if you've been to the museum recently, you've seen that you've maybe noticed that we've embraced color, and that particular very vibrant blue, but also almost purpley, but also the hot pink. It's become almost symbolic for us at this point. So yes, that is a treatment also by the same studio, and so they've continued it onto the front steps as well. But we wanted to have something that was not quite. Cliche, Monet, you see them on cups a lot, all that. And so can we play with these colors and make them a little bit more contemporary to draw people in? So, yeah, but that's good question.
And
Thank
then
you, Francie.
secondly, on that Portrait of Mexico
Yeah.
painting, have you thought about lighting, or is there better lighting to be had, or?
Yes, thank you for asking. Yes, there is better lighting. We have all sorts of plans for it, so yeah, absolutely. We have to, it's one of those tricky things with public art, as you well know, is you have to protect it at the same time that you want to highlight it. And so we're sort of struggling between the two things. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
I'll say too, just with the brightness and the design that we went with for these title treatments, we were really trying to capture the essence of the revolution, that these artists were really revolutionaries in their time. They were painting differently than anyone was, and they were actually rejected by the Arts Society in France at that time. And so we went with something a bit more bold to kind of reflect that spirit of rebelliousness that's coming through in the art, that we don't really think about it, because these are our famous, globally famous artists. So.
The same reaction.
Yeah, it's kind of bold and in your face, but
But you noticed.
yeah, exactly. So it's
Love
working.
Love that, sir.
Commissioner Doran?
A question about the materials in the process. It's never been done here, but has this material and application been done on other places?
Yes, it has. This agency that is installing for us has done so also with the same material at LACMA, at the Getty, at the Aquarium of the Pacific, and I'm not sure what the music center is, but
there's
big
been-
museums.
And where this question's leading, and there's been no problem with removing it and damage?
To my knowledge, no.
No, this is actually something that a lot of museums do, this kind of vinyl, and it's a good question, because you definitely don't want Monet to Matisse to be on your stairs all the time, right? Yeah. So we've been very careful about that, making sure that we can take it off and it's not going to be there forever.
So there is a track record, even though it's not been done
Removes
here.
cleanly,
There's
they
a
said,
track
yeah.
record.
There's a
That's-
track record
that's-
elsewhere. Yeah, good, very good question, though, yeah.
Great. That was going to be one of my questions. What is it?
Yeah.
It's not paint.
Vinyl.
Surface vinyl with a matte lamination that contours to the texture and removes cleanly after.
All right, there we go. All right, any other questions?
I have a question. if I might.
Yeah, Commissioner Lenvik.
I see these images on the screen here, and if you go back to the image of the front of the museum.
Yes.
Where you have long vertical pennants or whatever hanging
Banners.
there.
Banners.
Did you explore the possibility of taking those rectangular images and composing them on the white wall that is on each side of the entry area? It seemed to me that, here you're reading sideways and all that kind of, you could almost take those rectangles and make them quite large if you wanted, and fill that area on both the right and the left side of the entry.
You're saying on where the blue is?
Huh?
You're saying where the blue is?
You're talking about the banners, sir? Yeah.
Saying like fill it in
So
there
making them
instead.
bigger, is that what you're saying?
Possibly.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, it's,
You tell me I could do that, and I'm all in.
you can make them bigger. I
Thank you.
oftentimes reflect back on one of the, some of the early classes we had in design at college, and how you compose things. How do you compose whatever, And I sit and look at that and say, well, you can probably compose something very nicely in that large piece of white wall that's on each side of where you got a vertical
Love
pennant,
it.
and it would come out probably more balanced,
Yeah.
more attractive or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to get involved in the marketing.
No, I like where you're going with this, believe
But
me.
I just think that it's a composition,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair?
and it might be worth considering. I don't know.
We'll roll into the one expert of our group here, the
No,
actual
no, no
artist.
expert.
Commissioner Duran,
I think you
go for
could
it.
take the format as
Oh, that's-
presented, not the vertical one, but as presented on the other slide, that one, and they would fit writ large on that, above those windows.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Lemvick is right on
Yeah,
task.
thank you.
The other question I have for you, and it's not related to this at all, but I got you here.
Here we are. Here we are.
We're a captive audience right now.
The entry glass into the museum
Hmm.
is black or dark.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see into it. You don't see into the museum. And I'm wondering, is that a good marketing thing to do? I realize you've got sun and you got art right there in front of you, but trying to get your eye into the museum is, and see what's in there.
I sort of feel like you've been the spy in some of our meetings, I have to say, because we're actually, yeah, we've been having a lot of discussions about what we can do to actually make that clearer, because it makes the building look like it's closed, right? Yeah, and there's a little concern about the UV light that comes in and the works of art and all of that. On the other hand, there is clear, as you all know, right? There's
Deal with
clear.
that with clear glass.
Yeah, and so we are looking at doing something about that, because, yeah, you're right. It's a little ominous.
I'm somewhat of a museum aficionado, and you'll want to see what you're getting into.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And it's not this project, but it may be a project down the road to somehow visually
Yeah.
bring people in more.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that very much. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
A little validation there, isn't there?
I know, my goodness, yeah. No, we've been talking about that very same thing. Yeah.
All right, any other comments?
Are we doing comments or questions?
Yeah, we're rolling into comments. We kind of started sliding into that realm, so let's keep going with
Mr.
comments.
Chair?
Yeah, Commissioner Drury?
Yes, I have great respect and love of that museum and the staff therein. I have no reservations at all about this project. I think it's a fantastic project. I can't wait for it to open. The Dallas Museum of Art has a massive collection of the good stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Other comments? Commissioner Jordan?
A couple of comments. I'm supportive of the project. I'm less enthusiastic about taking works of art and making them big posters hanging on the sides of buildings, but that's not what we're talking about here. What we are talking about is the steps. I'm very supportive of that. It's exciting, it's intriguing, and it's temporary. But I also see it conceptually as a piece about text in an urban space, and I would hate to see that become a picture. In other words, I'm supportive of a text project because that's text in urban space. I'd hate to see it turned in, taking a work of art and turning it into a doormat. So I'm supportive, but with what you have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Commissioner Drury?
I do have one question. How soon and where can we buy, August 30th, we can buy tickets at the museum?
And online.
Online, you can buy
All right.
tickets.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're trying to make it super easy for people to buy tickets online. Yeah.
Commissioner Ensberg?
Yes, thank you so much for being here today and for bringing this. I'm super also very, very excited, and I love how creative this is of using the stairs to have this art piece that you have to move around and that it changes as you move. So I think it's brilliant of how you have come to that. I also am very supportive of the hedge coming down. I was on this is a lifetime ago, but I was on the Arts Advisory back in the day when the Siqueiros mural came here. And so I've known about it, and it's just absolutely a treasure and an honor to have that piece here. And so I'm thrilled to have it be more visible. I remember the day when it was craned in because it came from, the people, the property down south that had donated it to the museum, and it was trucked up here and then craned up into that position, which was the only place that there was no other place to put it, really. Yeah. So I'm thrilled about that, and the hedge can always grow back and be trimmed back again. So I think the artwork is what's really important. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
All right, so it's sounding like just a bunch of great cheering you on for this project, so yeah.
Very much appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing you at the show.
Yes.
Opens October 5th.
Yep. You'll see us there. Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. Great. All right, so now we are on to item 2. This is 15 East Ortega Street. It's a continued item for project design approval and final approval. This is located in EPV, proposed parklet in the public right-of-way in front of the existing commercial building. The project qualifies for an exemption from further environmental review under section 15303 of CEQA. Project design approval and final approval are requested. Project compatibility findings are required. Project was last reviewed August 13th, 2025. So welcome, and if you could introduce yourself for the record, and then we'll go to staff for any additional comments, and we'll then read the motion from last time.
Paul Poirier, the architect.
All right.
Here.
Great. And to staff
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. Staff has just one brief announcement on this item. One of the comments from the last hearing was questions about compliance with public works requirements and transportation requirements regarding the curb cut. So these plans were preliminarily reviewed by Public Works and Transportation, and then it will return to Public Works for a Public Works permit. So it has been reviewed for compliance and then will be reviewed again. And if there are any changes that require additional aesthetic review, it will return to us. This is a new process. We might discover down the road as we do more of these parklets that Public Works and Planning should be working closer together, that they should be reviewed concurrently. But I just did want to state that it has been preliminarily reviewed and approved by Public Works.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so with that, I'll read our motion from last time was to continue 2 weeks for the return to full commission with the following comments. The commission thanks the applicant for their presentation and work, believes this is an improvement from the existing parklet and is moving in the right direction according to current city guidelines. 2, the half umbrella is not appropriate in the Upper Viejo for a shade structure and must have a full umbrella. The color must match or be complementary to the existing awning, be a simple design, and cannot feature crenellations. 3, verify compliance with Public Works requirements, specifically the curb cut. 4, return with side wall design featuring vertical planks instead of horizontal. 5, traffic barriers to be painted or wrapped in solid color, preferably white, though other appropriate colors could be considered. Motion was by Drury, second by Uli, 800. McClure was absent. The motion carried. So, all right, so that, Commissioner McClure, I don't know if you reviewed.
I did watch the video.
Okay, so you can be able to questions and vote. All right, great. So with that, if you would tell us what has changed and what you've done to respond.
We have the plan, and we're painting the barriers around it. There are 5 of these water-filled barriers, painting them all white, and we put vertical 1x siding around the parklet as requested, and we have a simple umbrella that matches the awning color on the building. We have the actual sample over
City
here.
TV, if you could switch to desk view, table view. And here we go. And so here's the sample. All right, great, thank you. All right. All right.
So that ends my presentation. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's going to be less of a parklet because we're taking the roof off and modifying it with maybe more appropriate materials around the edge. But we have a short-term lease for the place. I think they have a couple more years there. We have World Cup coming up, so I'm sure that's going to get a lot of use.
And pardon my interruption, through the chair to the rest of the commission, I don't believe the colors that were just presented to you on paper are included in the plan set. So if you approve the project, please make sure to condition those colors as part of that approval. And if the applicant can walk through the plans on the laptop so the public can see them,
Yeah,
that would
just
be
scroll
great.
through the.
Okay. This is the plan. These are the 5 water-filled plastic K-rails that are getting painted white. This is the ADA accessible parklet. Someone can roll up from the curb right into the whole sitting area over there. This is the new 1x siding around the perimeter of it. That is the umbrella that we have that's going to have the canvas umbrella sample you have there that matches the awning on the building.
Great.
Okay, I have no clue how to
And just
work
click
this
right
in.
there. Yep. Click where your arrow is right now, and that'll scroll you down.
This thing?
Oh, no. Right in the sidebar, right there. Yep, just click that. There we go.
Ah. Photos of the existing parklet. So we'll be removing that roof and putting an umbrella and replacing the corrugated siding with vertical 1x. And there's the paint color. And here's the sunbrella color
Great.
and the umbrella.
All right. Does that complete your presentation?
Yep.
All right. We'll go to public comment.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. At this time, I don't have any speaker slips for in-person public comment for this item. So I will move to virtual participation. If anybody online would like to speak on this item, they can raise their hand at this time. Though I'm not seeing any raised hands, I will acknowledge that we received written correspondence from Kevin Boss and give it back to you.
All right. Thank you. All right. To the commission for any questions? All right, Commissioner Jordan.
I have a question. Can you show me where the curb cuts are on the plan?
See if you can zoom in with the plus. You can either just hit plus, and then.
Pinch it, because it's.
Oh, touch screen. That's true.
Touch screen.
Ah, look at that. Okay.
Could be a curse
Sorry,
though.
I'm incompetent.
It's a TikTok move.
All right.
Through the chair to the.
Here's
or-
the edge of the curb cut on this side.
Where? What?
Can you hover with your mouse? Here. There you go.
Right there. I think there's a driveway over in this area.
That's not what's shown on the plan, though. It just shows continuous lines. You're saying that line is not there on site.
That sidewalk line.
That line there is there.
Sidewalk.
This is the edge of the sidewalk, and this is the street, and this is the curb line, I think, under the parklet. that
So
makes
there's
the
no
parkway.
curb here, or there is a
There's no
curb cut.
I think that's part of the curb cut.
Maybe the photo?
The driveway.
Yeah. Do you have a photo?
Or some.
It doesn't
And-
matter. I have a comment, which I'll save for comments.
And pardon my interruption to the chair. We did have someone raise their hand. I just wanted to alert the chair just in case you would like to reopen public comment to allow that
Gotcha.
person to
Okay.
speak.
Great. And then he just showed the picture of it right there. So
There's where the curb goes.
Uh-huh.
That's shown on the plan, and it's the driveway for the adjacent property to
Looking right next to the building right
the
there.
west.
Yeah.
And this is the other side. Oops.
But this drawing, this photo shows a curb and then a driveway, correct? Is that
And
what
then
I'm
I
saying?
think the curb is also behind.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's one condition curb, one condition driveway, one condition curb. Fine. That
Okay.
answers my question.
Okay, great. Let's go, now we'll pause and go back to reopen public comment so that we can have our online person.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. So a hand did raise after we closed public comment, although they have now taken that hand down. If you wanted to speak, you can raise your hand again, but otherwise we're going to close it.
This is your last chance.
Okay, here we go. Okay, Darcy Roberts, I'm going to give you permission to speak. You should be able to speak at this time.
Hi. I just wanted to say thanks for giving them the opportunity to make some changes to make it more in suit with the design. I do think the changes will allow it to continue with what downtown is supposedly supposed to look like. And I think that it will continue to be a useful and nice space for Ortega Street. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. And another hand has popped up. So, Daryl Jackson, I'm going to allow you to speak. And you should be able to unmute at this time.
Hey, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I also wanted to give my support of the parklet as well. I understand it was essential during the pandemic and a direct result of it, but it's also a huge blessing to the business there and to the patrons because it's a really, really good addition. It is it's basically an extension of the bar, and I am one of many people who actually love the parklet and I'm on board with all of the changes as well because we do care about our streets and we want the things to aesthetically be pleasing. But the parklet itself is a great addition to that business. So I am in full approval of it, and I appreciate your time.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, there are no more hands raised. So.
All right, so now we'll close public comment and we'll come back to the commission. Any other questions about this part of it? Yes. Sorry, Commissioner Lodge, and then we'll go Commissioner McClure. And then
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm perplexed. According to the letter from Kevin Boss, there's supposed to be 10 feet between the curb cut and any parklet. Now, is that true or is it not? Because now it looks like they're saying, oh, well, this is fine.
So
it's a one-way entrance, a one-way.
So I think let's, for that aspect of it, because it is still per staff's comment, I think we can continue that as a comment if we want as part of it. But that is, well, actually, no, we can continue as a comment as part of it if we're not going to give it project design approval and final approval. If we do give it project design approval and final approval, and when it goes back to Public Works, if they say no, it doesn't meet it, then it's going to have to get changed and come back to us. So one way or the other, I don't think we need to worry about that aspect of it because if it meets the standards, the Public Works is going to be still reviewing it and having it meet the standards. If it doesn't, then it's going to come back to us as part of the whatever changes they have to do to get it to meet the standards. So on that side of it, things, because I don't know either, but I think it's a totally good question, but also not something that we have to choose to rule on for the aesthetics.
That wasn't my intention. I'm just trying to get some clarification on
Yeah.
what the rules are.
But, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Commissioner.
I think Commissioner Lodge is right. However, since Public Works has acknowledged they've reviewed it and they're okay with it, and it's their rule, it seems we can move on.
And if they come not okay with it, then then it'll be another thing. Okay. Any other questions, Commissioner McClure?
Paul, what percentage of the sidewalk is being overlapped by this structure? It seems like some of the sidewalk usability is being taken away by the overlapping of this to some percentage of the sidewalk area.
It looks graphically about a foot in depth is covered by the ramp that's going up into the parklet itself. And it probably is about 6 square feet total, would be my guess.
All right. Other questions? Commissioner Drury, did you have a question?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Commissioner Ensberg?
Could, just to follow up on Commissioner McClure's question, could you go to the floor plan and just kind of walk us through the dimension of the sidewalk? I had asked about that last time, and it wasn't clear what the actual dimension, and then this issue that Commissioner Jordan is asking about, that curved line. I'm just confused about where things are. That existing concrete curb on the left looks like the sidewalk is way wider in that it extends out into the street there. Is that right?
So the sidewalk depth appears to be about 6 feet. If that dimension line to the front of the parklet is 4'11", then it's another little distance to the edge of the sidewalk. It looks like 6 feet to me. And then there's a depth of the parkway, which takes us to the curb line. So that's probably 4 feet. So it's probably 6 feet of sidewalk, 4 feet of parkway. And the parklet is over the parkway, and it's a foot over the sidewalk in those two areas. where the ramp
Okay.
is going.
So the curb, I mean, normally isn't the curb at the edge of the sidewalk, right? No?
Normally, per Public Works standards, yes. The sidewalk extends from the face of the building to the face of the curb
Okay.
with no parkway. That's how they would prefer it. But luckily, there are parkways and trees
I see.
on streets. But you should talk to them about that because
Okay.
that's lame.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, any other questions? All right, so this is before us for project design approval and final approval. Yeah, so we're gonna roll into comments, so if, and see what people are thinking and feeling about this. All right, Commissioner Jordan?
I have a comment about the drawings. This commission makes decisions based on the information represented in the drawings. And I realize that drawings often describe things that are going to change, but existing conditions are existing conditions, and they ought to be represented on the drawings. And I'm concerned that there's a bunch of lines on this drawing that in fact do not describe either what's there or what's going to be there in terms of the curb cut. Drawings can reveal, but they can also conceal situations. And I just have, it's a matter of principle, and this is going to undoubtedly go through, but as a matter of principle, I'm very uncomfortable approving things based on drawings that are not accurate. And I don't think these drawings are accurate, because I don't see curb cuts there.
Okay. All right, other comments, thoughts, and especially on whether you think it can receive project design approval and final approval?
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
I was not paying attention. The wood is going to be stained brown.
Yes.
That's not brown color.
The awning is that green. And
Umbrella.
umbrella. It appears in your drawing that the umbrella is wide, not as wide as it is long. Is that right?
Right. It's a rectangular umbrella.
Okay. I don't think that the brown color for this enclosure walls is appropriate in EPV.
Well, let's see the color read on
Well,
it.
we're going to wrap
Down
the,
Edwards, Roxy Brown.
we're going to wrap the,
Dark chocolate.
or paint the barriers white. And then we've got a little bit of brown there. And the bar top, I guess, is going to be painted plywood brown as well.
Right.
And it hangs out over the wall in some way, shape, or form. It's, I'm uncomfortable with it. It could be a cute little parklet, but it's not a cute little parklet now.
So do you have a suggestion for another color?
Well, I would think that a cream or a white that was different than the painted color of the barriers would be nice. It could be a grayish white or a brownish white, but I just think that it's not a brown wood fence on the street in downtown Santa Barbara is not something which I get excited about. As Mr. Mahan would say, there's no poetry to it.
Okay. Other additional thoughts on anything else aside from the color? In general, aside from the colors, is everyone feeling that this is passable in terms of for project design approval and final approval? Then we can talk about the color in particular.
I think it is. It seems like we've hit a caffeine low.
That's why I brought my own. Okay. So, yes, Commissioner Ensberg.
I will probably abstain from this. I can't approve it. And I know it's already gone through this. It's a very complicated matter. These all started 5 years ago in COVID, and I don't find it to be in any way EPV or represent the quality that we are supposed to uphold. And I realize there's other complications as to why why this could be approved. But I'm struggling with it, and I can't find, I'm not able to approve it. And I think it takes away from, this is one of the most adorable, cute buildings in all of downtown. It's very unique, this tiny little bar, which I just think is great. And I think having this thing out in front is taking away from that. And I understand that they have this functionality that they like, but we're not reviewing for functionality. That's not our purview. Our purview is aesthetics. And I don't find it to meet anything at all that relates to our responsibility to uphold the quality for EPV.
All right.
One more.
Commissioner Lemrick?
The fire department doesn't have a problem with a canopy, umbrella, a fabric umbrella over a heater. I mean, I see you have a heater out there, which I assume you continue to use, and
Probably. I mean, it's all flame retardant, all these umbrellas and awnings and everything. It's all made out of flame retardant material.
Maybe I'll ask a question about the awning, rectangular versus round or shape or square or whatever. In general, our awning or our umbrellas have been, we've wanted them either, round and either like 6-sided or 8-sided basically, and pretty regular. Are people, I mean, I can see the reason why here, and it's very useful to fit this shape like this. But that's the other question is, are we okay with this one and then and making an exception, or do we want to stick by our umbrella standards as well? So I guess that's throwing another little bit of a twist into it, but I want to see what people's feelings are, because that's the only other piece that I have similar issues with it, but I think that that's innate in the parklet more than in where this parklet is getting to. And it seems like this parklet's getting to about as good as you can get a wood basic parklet to be, which is not great, but is not as bad as a lot of them have been. So I mean, the K-rails themselves are much more of an eyesore than anything else, and that got stripped from our control as well. But I do want to at least acknowledge that this is getting to be as nice a parklet as surrounded by K-rails as we're going to get in Santa Barbara. I think it's a hard thing to give a problem to it when it's innately built into itself of a 42-inch wood structure.
Mr. Chair, I don't have an issue with the umbrella as long as it satisfies fire issues. So my concern has been, and as I said, about the accuracy of the drawings, but the parklet and the umbrella, I don't have a problem with.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Lodge?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Overall, when I drive down Ortega Street, the parklet seems like an unwelcome intrusion, and as if it doesn't belong there. What is being proposed is certainly an improvement over what is there now. But I'm not sure, I don't know if Councilmember Sneddon, who's here, would like to comment, but I was kind of wondering what was the council's intention when they allowed some side streets to have, there are a few side street parklets, but most of them are gone. It's, well, again, I could.
So, and I think just as a sort of, it's my understanding that generally speaking, it's, our purview is not whether they have a parklet or not, as long as it meets the things,
Correct.
as long as they meet the basic standards, they're allowed to have a parklet, and they need just to abide by aesthetic, aesthetic nature of what are, and we do have design guidelines for parklets as well, which this seems to be meeting all of, at least at a basic level. So I
Correct.
don't want to give undue hardship to this particular owner and this particular thing, just because parklets in general suck.
Right. So through the chair to the rest of the commission, I would like to refocus the conversation on the aesthetics of the project. It will be reviewed by Public Works, Fire, Transportation for all of those requirements. If something needs to change, it will return to us. As proposed, a heater is not shown on the site plan, so they will have to remove the heater. If they want to propose the heater, they'll have to return with the heater, and that Fire will have to review it as such. I know they have an existing heater, but that's not on their current plan, so you're not approving a heater under an umbrella. So if they have to make changes, it will come back to us. This process might evolve, but I would just like the commission to focus on the aesthetics, because that is what this board has control over.
Okay, and I do, Commissioner Lenvik, I also hear your comment of the brown, like a wood fence feel, and so I do wonder, is there other colors, or even just picking from our approved EPV color, color book of, is there a nicer color that can just be used instead of making it feel like brown wood? I think that's also as part of that aesthetic question. If people are wanting to be able to give, especially if it's project design approval and final approval, be able to give it with a condition, for example, of picking from the EPV guidelines and either working with our architecture historian and or something of that sort, to just pick a color and go. I don't know, what are people's thoughts on that?
It seems to me that, that if we're going to be able to make the project compatibility findings, that it meets our guidelines, then using the guidelines would be important, wouldn't it? So if there's a color in there, then they should pick a color that's in that guideline.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I have a question.
Commissioner
Are we discussing the shape of the umbrella?
We can. Yep. Go for it.
Well, the discussion last week or 2 weeks ago was that the rectangle was out.
It was the half an umbrella was out.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
So would we prefer round umbrellas or crenellated umbrellas? No crenellations, I should say, but
Yeah.
no crenellations.
I think our general has been, and I think it's in the guidelines for the parklets even, I think, where it's 6-sided or 8-sided round, basically.
Well, that's what I would support.
As a standard.
I would not like a
Yeah.
rectangular shape or a half
And
an
we could
umbrella.
always make exceptions, but that is our standard.
I think we made plenty. Thank you.
All right. So other feelings on umbrella shape? Round, okay. All right, so anyone strongly in support of the rectangle? I want a rectangle hill to die on? Okay, so color. So how's everyone feeling about the color? Brown, or currently the ideas are as is, or pick another color from our color, if we're going to give approval, from the historic style color guide, and work with Nicole on that, and then, or something else.
Mr. Chair, we're not talking about the color of the umbrellas, correct?
No, the color of the
already
wood.
chosen?
Yeah.
It's sort of a medium teal?
Yeah, if anyone feels that the awning color isn't okay, then the
I think
forest green.
it's just fine.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't hearing any.
As far as the wood goes, I mean,
I think the color of the pickets should be Sherwin-Williams Nomadic Desert.
Nomadic desert, and do you have a
Of course he does.
Yeah, so that's not being too specific.
I would say, okay,
Project we were going to vote on before.
so this is like a cream color, creamy brown here, warm creamy brown. So I would say to the applicant, would the applicant be in support of that? Okay. All right, is everyone else feeling the warm, creamy, yeah, there's
6107.
nomadic desert. All right, all right. Okay, so that's good. We got a color, we've got the umbrella direction, okay with the color of the umbrellas.
So 2 umbrellas but round.
Yes, yep. 2 umbrellas but round, yep. Are any other things that we want to lock in?
And briefly to the chair, if, although I shut you guys down on the public works stuff, I do think to Commissioner Jordan's point, I do think it would be appropriate to add a condition that's the drawings accurately reflect the conditions of the site. That's an appropriate condition.
I think that the drawings do accurately represent what's there, but you haven't requested, nor have you requested from any other parklet, a full survey of the property because it's like too much for a parklet to spend the money on that. The existing curb on the right and left of the parklet are where they occur in reality. Where the building occurs is where it is in reality. Where the edge of the sidewalk is shown is accurate, but the drip line of the curb as it goes across where the curb cut is, that line is not shown.
I'm not asking for a full survey. I'm asking that the drawings show if there is a driveway, if the 6-inch curb is interrupted by a driveway, instead of a continuous line that is show that. I'm not asking for a survey. It is possible to render the existing conditions without
And I think
paying for a whole
and
survey.
I'll just sort of.
The photographs show it.
Yeah, I think sort of to that, I think it's a difficult thing to show in a simple line drawing form, but I think the weight of the line is hard to differentiate because you're showing sidewalk, but it also feels like an edge of a curb when there is none. I think it's a part of it is just line weights, I think, and call outs so that we're understanding where. Because it feels like you can step off the curb there where your that line right there where that's flush. So there's.
So is there a question where the existing concrete curb is? It's called out here on the left.
Yeah, but the driveway.
Called out here on the right.
Yeah, so I think the more information of the driveway of where it is, it would be helpful, and that could have either been through line weights, call out, color, something. It's a harder to read. I know it's just for a parklet, so I also understand that aspect, but it's a harder to read plan than normal with a lot of things going on. So that's, I think, where some of the hardship is coming from. Okay, so to keep moving here. So I think it would be I'd be looking for a motion for project design approval and final approval with the conditions of the color to go to as stated. The color call-out that we stated, and nomadic desert. And then for the rectangular umbrella to be replaced with 2 round umbrellas, and any other specific, the color, we call it change color. Any other specific additions to the motion? And the color umbrella is appropriate as proposed.
I wouldn't specify the number of umbrellas. I would just say that they need to meet the standard. So if they want 2, they want 1,
Okay.
however it's going to fit,
Yeah, okay. So I think that makes sense to change to round, which is the standard for the umbrellas. Okay, any other notes to add?
And just to clarify that I got all of the conditions, to paint the body color to be nomadic cream, I think was the
Nomadic
color.
desert.
Nomadic.
Nomadic Desert, Sherman-Williams,
Nomadic
6107.
desert, Sherman-Williams.
There we go.
And then to select a round umbrella instead of a rectangular one, but the color of the umbrella is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then the drawings to be, did you get
And
the
the
drawing
drawings to
reflect the
Oh, yeah.
actual distinction of the curbing, meeting the driveway on
Perfect.
both sides?
Yes.
I think
Yep.
so. That's good.
Okay, any other comments?
Mr. Chair?
Yep.
I assume that the tenant, the bar operator, realizes that you won't have lights out there and probably won't have heating out there. And is it still a viable
Well, we're approving what is on the plans. So if there's lighting or heating on the plans, then that's what we're approving. If there's not, then we're not approving it, so.
They got to do something else.
Yeah. Okay, any other comments? All right, let's have a roll call vote, please.
We need
There
a
was no
motion.
motion.
Oh. All right, we need a motion. Who's someone like to make a motion
I
with
will
those
make the
comments?
motion to approve with the 3 items inclusive.
Yeah, for project design approval and final approval.
Correct, thank you.
Okay, and then who wants to second
He
it?
has to make the compatibility findings.
Oh, yes, okay, let's pull compatibility findings, and then we'll get a seconder. All right, second, Commissioner Drury. All right.
Do we have a second first? So.
Yeah, Commissioner Drury, he's.
Oh, we did,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so is it consistent with the design guidelines as approved for parklets? I think it's consistent. Is it compatible with the architectural character of the city and the neighborhood? Enough so that we can approve it. Size, mass, bulk, and scale fits in with the approval of parklet structure. What else do we have here? Sensitive to ancient landmarks and historical resources, yes. Doesn't affect views of oceans and mountains. Doesn't really address open space and landscaping, I don't believe. So it's appropriate. Is there one more? Oh, just 2 of 2? Okay.
That's it.
All right, so we have a motion for project design approval and final approval, and the second, so under discussion, any further discussion? All right, roll call vote, please.
Thank you. I'll begin with Commissioner Ensberg.
No.
Commissioner Lenvik,
No.
Commissioner McClure,
No.
Commissioner Lodge,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner Drury,
Yes.
Vice Chair Uli,
Yes?
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Would the 3 who opposed like to provide a reason? I'll start with Commissioner Ensberg.
I can't make the findings that it meets. If you want to, is that enough to say? Just
Yeah, that's
okay. All right.
Same with me. It doesn't meet EPV guidelines.
Okay. And Commissioner Lenvik.
Same, does not meet the guidelines, or I can't make a finding of compatibility.
Okay, thank you.
got your nomadic desert.
Motion passes.
All right. All right, thank you, guys. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, last item.
Pardon me, will you
Oh, yeah, sorry.
just
This
do
is
the appeal period?
appealable to City Council within 10 days.
Thank you.
All right. Last item is item 3, one-time pre-application consultation for 1315 State Street. This is a contributing historic resource to EPV Landmark District constructed in 1926 in the Spanish colonial revival style by Edwards and Plunkett and drastically altered in 1948 to 1955. Proposed 1,000 square foot addition at the second floor of the existing commercial building. Project includes remodel of 2,100 square feet of commercial space in the second floor into 5 residential units, remodel of 3,000 square feet of commercial space in the first floor, and restoration of the storefront. No final appealable action will take place at this meeting. Project compatibility findings, major alteration findings, and development plan findings will be required for project design approval. All right, so welcome. Hi, if you could introduce yourselves for the record, and then we'll go to staff.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Steinwurtzel. Do you need to know more?
She owns Jake and Jones, a local retailer on Cannon Perdido.
Yeah, I own Jake and Jones, the women's shop on Cannon Perdido, the men's shop on East De La Guerra, and I am a co-owner with Alex Sudolnik, who's behind me, on the Eddy.
Okay, great.
And I'm Joe Androlitis, architect with Androlitis Mix and Architects, and I'm just going to say I sweated through that last review, and I'm glad you approved it because I play for the press room soccer team, and I've enjoyed many pints there with my teammates, so thank you for approving that.
All right.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to bring up the significance report because it shows the original design that was designed by Edwards and Plunkett. And this was put on the inventory way before my time, I think in 1979 when they did the original survey of State Street. So this is what it originally looked like, but in 1948 it was altered to have that sort of funky stucco. You can scroll down to see what it looks like now, and you'll see more pictures of what it looks like now. Those are the original drawings. And the pink building here next to the Arlington with that overlap is what it looks like now, and it was altered in the 50s. So we do have, when we look at this, I just want you to be really aware of what it was and what it is now and where we want to, and with the proposal looking at those two things and taking that into consideration for our, because it is on the inventory considered historic, if we want to take that off, that title, or if we want to go back to something, or what we're thinking, because I personally think the way it is now doesn't really reflect the Edwards and Plunkett design, or or it's more like a 50s design that isn't as elegant as Edwards and Plunkett. And I think you'll see that the design proposed today goes more towards it, but I think it might bring up, we just kind of need to keep that in mind in our discussions. It's an unusual building. Or it's had an unusual history. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's why we're here at pre-concept, or
Yeah.
pre-application, just to kind of figure out where we want to go with this and the designs, because I think it's going to be a great tenant for sure. So. Great, thanks.
Great, thank you. All right, so why don't you walk us through your design? And you have 15 minutes. Don't need to use it all, but
Hopefully I'll be under that. I just want to maybe talk about the history a little bit. Nicole mentioned it. Original design, there's a question actually who designed the original building. There's some attributions to Arthur Benton as well, is from my understanding, but we have no records of who did the original design. But in 1926, Edwards and Plunkett did the addition in the back. And I'm going to go, because I put those drawings in here. So that includes this little addition in the back, which kind of mimics the archways in the front that were originally there. That was done in 1926. And then Hunt and Chambers were hired in the mid-30s to do an addition. And I looked through the street file, and they ended up basically doing some remodeling on the second floor, filling in some windows. There was a large window facing north that opened into the Paseo for the Arlington. And then they filled in some arches on the sides. They removed a stair, internal stair, and added the external stair. But interesting enough, when I went through the street file, I found this letter authored by Chambers from Hunt and Chambers. And basically it says, I received orders from the tenant to discontinue work on the proposed alterations for the present. The proposition, as far as raising the front of the store, was not primary to obtain usable second-story space over this area, but rather to give you the building a somewhat more important appearance on State Street. And why I present that to you is because I think that alluded to a much more significant second-story addition than what ended up happening. And what ended up happening was there was a space in the back, a deck in the back that got filled in this first edition, and I think this is probably for cost reasons, and then a prior edition filled it in the front. And just speaking as an architect myself, I don't think those are very attractive additions to the building. In addition, you're well aware of how Howell and Arndt did the 1948 remodel, which took away a lot of the nice detailing for the building, and that's pretty much as you see it today. The original building had nice eaves at the front. Those are peeled back with a plaster cornice, and then those arches were filled in. They're still there, but they're filled in. And then you saw the fill-in of the deck up above. So what we have today is a great opportunity of a unique infill housing project that I think you'll receive well. This is the neighborhood. As you know, this building sits directly to the south of the Arlington. And it sits between an elegant two-story building to the south, the Arlington to the north, and then another two-story building to the north that was remodeled, I think, in the 90s, that you're probably well aware of. That one has a roof deck, actually. So you're familiar with the site. I think the back alley, you can see some photos of the existing archway back there, and then some of the detailing that you can see from an interior paseo to the side of the building. What's unique about this building, which makes it a great opportunity for the infill housing, is that this building wasn't built to the lot line. It's actually set back about average 3 feet, which gives us a unique opportunity to put windows on the sides of the buildings where you usually don't have that opportunity in most buildings downtown. So that gives us a lot of leeway as far as putting the housing units on the second floor. There's some additional detailing you'll see on the upper floor, looking down from the stairwell, and then inside the little landscape area between the paseo for the Arlington kind of narrows where the fountain is, and there's a little green area to the north of our building that allows some sunlight in. You have some palm trees and some landscaping there that exists today. And so those are some of the kind of sneak photos looking up through there, looking at the old facade. There's currently a wrought iron gate that faces on State Street. That's just for security for going to the upper floor. I think the upper floor originally was probably an office for the retail space below. It's had numerous uses over the years. It was a bridal shop, probably most recently. And then it was an art studio just a few months ago. It's currently vacant. We've demoed the interior of the building. And we've uncovered some really unique details that we're looking forward to enhancing. The current layout in the front, it actually steps down about 18 inches and then steps up about, towards the back. So there's a significant grade change that's in line with the slope of the Arlington Paseo. So you have an at-grade entrance, you have a lower retail area, and then it steps up. This mimics more of what the original plans called out for. Right now, there's a non-compliant ramp in there that deals with the level change, and we want to get rid of that and put the stair back in. So basic retail layout with some changing rooms, utilizing some existing storage on the south side, and then back of house on the west side with some bathrooms. So pretty straightforward. We do want to reopen the window on the north side. And you'll see that on the elevations. On the second floor, we're going to try to squeeze in 5 units. Nothing extraordinarily large, very efficient. There's 1 2-bedroom, and then 4 1-bedrooms of various sizes. The 2-bedroom faces the entire width of, incorporates the entire width of the building, facing east, with a deck on the southeast corner. There's a little almost studio-sized 1-bedroom unit in the middle that utilizes a deck between the 2 stairwells. And then there's 2 units along the Paseo for the Arlington, and then there's another unit tucked on the northwest corner. The 2 western units have little Juliet balconies that are proposed over the existing first floor. Proposed roof plan, just a simple gable on the front and the end, with kind of a mansard roof on the sides to allow for a mechanical well and possibly some stormwater compliance. I don't know how we're going to comply with stormwater yet, but we're going to get there when we get there. We do have, if you hit back, 2 stairwells. Unfortunately, they're right on the property line, so they can't remain open. They'll have to be enclosed all the way down to the exit. One of them currently is designed that way. The other one's an old steel stair that got added back in the 50s. That's non-compliant. Front elevation, you can see on the bottom the existing elevation, particularly the street elevation on the left bottom corner. You can see how the arches have been framed in. During our demo, the building is built out of brick and concrete. Those arches are still there. So there's not going to be any issue resurrecting that form in the front of the building. What we did differently and what we're proposing for the storefront is originally from the old photos you saw, that was one big pane of glass. And I'm not sure we can get that size to be code compliant. So I'm introducing just a little bit of a header there to separate the arched transom window from the main window below. We have double doors at the front, and then as you can see, a large window from the bedroom with a kind of a wrought iron flower, bed to be proposed underneath the window. And then a nice little deck on the left side that's opened on the south and the east side. You can see a new proposed wrought iron entrance from the stairwell with just a tile roof that slopes up with the stair. On the back side, we plan on keeping the old wood windows that are there. Obviously, have to repair them and replace where we have to. We have 2 little Juliet balconies off those living spaces in the units above. And then and then an overhang that's in line with the original overhang proposed for the building, or from the original building. This is the elevation looking south with you see the two covered stairwells leading down to the exits that exit to the alley and then to State Street with various windows. The window sizing and breakup are directly reflective of the original windows that you see on the building today on the second floor. This is the north elevation facing the Arlington, and I've outlined the outline of the Arlington in front of it with all the arched openings. So you can see the entry building with the round rotunda with the roof in front and the two large arches that face to the south. And then you get to the narrower part of the Paseo where you have that colonnade of arches where the fountain is. And those, you get kind of an idea of the size of the Arlington versus what this is doing on the second floor. If you look at the elevation below, you'll notice that there's an arched window towards the, I guess would be the west side. What was interesting in looking at the original drawings is that there was a stairwell there before, and if you looked at the pictures, I'm going to go back this way. Particularly this picture here. Let's see if I can blow up here.
You can pinch it.
Yeah. You can see there's a little sill mark here. So I think that window got revised during Hunt and Chambers remodel, and it was kind of a mid-landing window. So what we're going to try to do is actually expand the window, since that's non-structural, and put a little Juliet balcony there. Since we don't have a stair there, so window kind of half landing doesn't really work. So that's the thought of that Juliet balcony on this side. And then I like the pattern of these windows on the existing elevation, so we were able to kind of get the same pattern, not in the exact same place, but to try to carry over some of the existing detailing over onto the building. Let's see. And lastly, I worked on Amo del Pueblo way back when, and we had some old models of that building and the Arlington, so I kind of brought those into my project, and then we modeled the building next door. So this gives you kind of an idea, a rough idea of how the building sits between those two properties. I think, and then we had the existing plans that you already went through, and I think it's in keeping for the, we're planning on adopting a lot of the principles that are being considered for the adaptive reuse ordinance, which lets you get away with less open space and other things like that. And I've been on the committee kind of helping comment on that. And so I think this is a great project that will incorporate a lot of those ideas to make housing projects a little easier to facilitate downtown. So that concludes my presentation.
Great. All right, so now we'll go to public comment on this item.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. At this time, I don't have any speaker slips for in-person public comment for this item. Though if anyone in the room would like to speak, they can come up at this time. And I'm not seeing any movement, so I'll move to virtual participation. If anyone online would like to speak, they can raise their hand at this time. And I'm not seeing any raised hands, and we did not receive any written correspondence for this item, so I'll give it back to you.
All right. Oh, sure.
One more comment I felt, Tim Hazeltine, we hired Post Hazeltine to help with this project. Tim was supposed to be here, but he had an emergency and couldn't attend. He did send me an email about their comments on the design, and I just wanted to read that.
Yeah, can you read that?
So the proposed design is complementary to the building's architecture. Frankly, Pam and I believe the building's integrity design was adversely affected by the insertion of mid-century fenestration on the street facade. In its current state of preservation, its primary can no longer convey its original design. So bringing back the original arcuated windows and door would be an improvement, and the second floor is complementary to the original architecture.
Great, thank you. Okay, so to the commission for questions? Any questions? Wow, no questions. Okay, let's roll into comments.
Mr. Chair?
All right, Commissioner Drury.
It's not.
After that parkland.
They can't label it a home run yet, but it's really close, and I think it's fantastic. I support the project in its entirety.
Thank you.
Oh, I'll make it a home run in my eye.
There you go.
Thank you.
Calling it a home run. All right, Commissioner Lodge, and then Commissioner Ensberg.
I concur with Commissioner Drury. I love the idea of going back to the original design.
Commissioner Ensberg?
Yes, I'll pile on. It's just excellent. Excellent work, excellent research. Everything you have done is excellent. So, and thank you so much. I can't tell you how happy I am to see, this building brought back, and that so much of it is, through your exploration and everything, you're finding a lot of the openings and the details from before. I think it's going to be beautiful. And it's housing. So that's fantastic too. So, I'm very excited about it, and thank you.
All right.
I concur. I think it's really, really well done. And my only thought would be that the second floor bathroom window that fronts onto State Street, if you could maybe, things are worse, I guess, than having a bathroom fronting on State Street, but well, you could find a way to roll it around and have that window open onto the deck. And then it's just more blank wall on the second floor, and it looks really well. So that's a comment I have, but it's, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it either.
All right. Great. Vice Chair?
I concur with that. I think it's very supportable.
I am supportive of it, and I appreciate seeing the original drawings and also your efforts to indicate, using a different line weight, the adjacent. I really appreciate that.
Can you get some nomadic desert? Sorry. It's terrific. It's great.
All right. All right. And I totally agree with what everyone said. You did a really great job. Amazing, well thought through. Yeah, it's an awesome project. So it's for project design approval and final approval? Because it would have been easier than the last one. Okay, so yeah, so I think I'll just do a summary then. This is for one-time pre-application consultation. And so the summary comments are that the Commission is extremely supportive of this project. You've done a wonderful job increasing its historic integrity and bringing back a lot of the original charm and adding to it. So, and that as proposed, the design is very supportable. And we look forward to seeing it come back for project design approval and final approval.
Chair Grumbine? Could I also just add that I think it's a really beautiful example, as we're trying to move forward, getting our adaptive reuse ordinance in place, and also for other projects on State Street moving forward, because there's a lot of other buildings that could use the same attention. So I think it's a really good model that way. Thank you.
All right, yeah. So we'll add that as well. That it's a great model for others to look at going forward.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right,
Appreciate your input.
thank you. So I'll just look for a motion to.
There's no motion.
No, it's just one time. That's right. Okay. So those are the comments. All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for your
All right.
Is that all
Thank
of our
you.
business?
And I think that's all of our business, so.
That was the shortest item you've ever had.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. All right, so with that, we will adjourn.